Hare Krishna. Om Magyanatamanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshon Malatam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gavabhushta Sapodakam Guru Ganara Shisha Sambhushitam Chancha Chancha Samashtaveda Nipunam Shri Rupapatanugam Govinda Vidam Urvalam Bharatunam Bhaktam Vitam Shandaram Bandai Vishvagaram Sudapya Bhagavad Premno Hipijapadam Devam Divitanam Sutandavananam Balakachalanchitam Sandhanadaparam Sarakavananam Bharakivadam Bodhim Sri Siddhantaninam Subhaktala Shitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vam Panditam Shivaram Marikasananam Yashishvaram Sri Dharam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Swami Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namaha Guravagnam Shirashadricha Shakyavesha Swarupane Hari Krishna Himantrina Praschacha Prachatarane Visvachari Bhavayar Devakaram Namurtaye Sri Bhagavata Madhuya Gita Gana Pradayane Gaura Shirupa Shidanta Saraswati Nishevane Radha Krishna Padamboja Rangaya Gurave Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dandavats. All right, yeah, so just someone can launch to where we... Dale, did you manage to find where it is?
I was going to interject and ask, were you just looking for where we left off? Is that?
Yeah.
All right.
What's your take on it? Maybe.
Well, I took my final highlight was on the PDF at the end of page 22. I highlighted karma is not eternal.
Okay, just karma is not eternal.
It's pretty much the last line of page 22.
Right, karma is not eternal. Yeah, I remember that actually. Karma is not eternal because that was a question you asked, Madhura Nitai. Someone asked that, isn't karma eternal? And then I reflected, oh no, I don't know, karma, it can't be eternal because you get free of karma and then go back to the spiritual sky.
Yes, I did ask that.
I doubt we went much further than that.
Yeah, I've got the bottom of page 23.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, which is actually page 9 according to the scans of the book.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, just so that I'm on the same page, can you send me the PDF that you've got? Because I think I've got a different edition and it's really messed me up with my pages.
Yeah, it must be.
So if you send it into the chat box.
Well, I have it as a link. I've got it as a download.
I think you still can. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
In the chat you can attach. Yeah, I'll try now. I'll try to attach a file from your computer.
Yeah, because you can attach a file from your computer to the chat box at the bottom.
I'll send that now.
Nice.
If that works.
Thanks, Dale.
It's okay. Yeah, it's just uploading now.
And as a co-host, you can send it into the chat box too. Yeah, that's good. And how's everything there in New Delhi, Anam?
Today is just a lucky day.
Yeah, another good day. Awesome. Awesome. Here we go. So Bhagavad Gita.
Everybody feels that luck. It's a lucky day. I just know it.
Lucky day. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Let me know if that works.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's Oh yeah, it's a little bit slow. It's coming in, but okay. So I'll pick it up. So yeah, whoever feels inspired, I guess. Yeah, just launch into the.
Dale, it's kind of been a second since you've read.
Okay, yeah. Shall I go from sort of the top of 23 just to kind of recap?
That sounds great.
All right. Cool. The effects of karma may be very old indeed. We are suffering or enjoying the results of our activities from time immemorial, but we can change the results of our karma or our activity, and this change depends on the perfection of our knowledge. We are engaged in various activities. Undoubtedly, we do not know what sort of activities we should adopt to gain relief from the actions and reactions of all these activities, but this is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The position of Ishvara is that of supreme consciousness. The jivas, or the living entities, being parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are also conscious. Both the living entity and material nature are explained as Prakriti, the energy of the Supreme Lord, but one of the two, the jiva, is conscious. The other, Prakriti, is not conscious. That is the difference. Therefore, the jiva Prakriti is called superior because the jiva has consciousness which is similar to the Lord's. The Lord's is supreme consciousness, however, and one should not claim that the jiva, the living entity, is also supremely conscious. The living being cannot be supremely conscious at any stage of his perfection, and the theory that he can be so is a misleading theory. Conscious he may be, but he is not perfectly or supremely conscious. The distinction between the jiva and the Ishvara will be explained in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is Kasitra Nya. Yeah? Is there a better way to pronounce that, Maharaj?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, conscious. Thank you. As is the living being. But the living being is conscious of his particular body, whereas the Lord is conscious of all bodies. Because he lives in the heart of every living being, he is conscious of the psychic movements of the particular jivas. We should not forget this. It is also explained that the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is living in everyone's heart as Ishvara, as the controller, and that he is giving directions for the living entity to act as he desires. The living entity forgets what to do. First of all, he makes a determination to act in a certain way, and then he is entangled in the acts and reactions of his own karma. After giving up one type of body, he enters another type of body, as we put on and take off old clothes. As the soul thus migrates, he suffers the actions and reactions of his past activities. These activities can be changed when the living being is in the mode of goodness, insanity, and understands what sort of activities he should adopt. If he does so, then all the actions and reactions of his past activities can be changed.
Amen. I found it. Yay.
Right.
We're all synced now. I was lost in space, folks.
Awesome. Consequently, karma is not eternal. Therefore, we stated that of the 5 items, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, time, and karma, 4 are eternal, whereas karma is not eternal.
So that's the point. Karma is not eternal. It is, karma is not eternal because the potential is there for karma to be released. But actually, when the Mahapralaya comes and the universe gets wound up, the karma of the living entities gets stopped and then restarted again in the Mahapralaya. And then, of course, for the jiva, when the jiva gets liberated, the karma is removed because you become clean. So therefore, it's not eternal.
Sorry. The Supreme Conscious Ishvara is similar to the living entity in this way. Both the consciousness of the Lord and that of the living entity are transcendental. It is not that consciousness is generated by the association of matter. That is a mistaken idea. The theory that consciousness develops under certain circumstances of material combination is not accepted in the Bhagavad Gita. Consciousness may be pervertedly reflected by the covering of material circumstances, just as light reflected through colored glass may appear to be a certain color, but the consciousness of the Lord is not materially affected. Lord Krishna says, Maya Dyakshina Prakriti. When he descends into the material universe, his consciousness is not materially affected. If he were so affected, he would be unfit to speak on transcendental matters as he does in the Bhagavad Gita. One cannot say anything about the transcendental world without being free from materially contaminated consciousness. So the Lord is not materially contaminated. Our consciousness at the present moment, however, is materially contaminated. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this materially contaminated consciousness. In pure consciousness, our actions will be dovetailed to the will of Ishvara, and that will make us happy. It is not that we have to cease all activities. Rather, our activities are to be purified, and purified activities are called bhakti. Activities in bhakti appear to be like ordinary activities, but they are not contaminated. An ignorant person may see that a devotee is acting or working like an ordinary man, but such a person with a poor fund of knowledge does not know that the activities of the devotee or of the Lord are not contaminated by impure consciousness or matter.
So just one interjection is that, so you'll see that it appears sadhakas are eating, they're working, they're doing business, they're cleaning, they're working jobs, but see their motive and their consciousness is the yukta vairagya. They're connecting everything as an offering. So they're even seeing that the environment that they're working in is a part of the divine energy. And then they're attempting to return that gross environment, whether it's food matter or money, or they're always utilizing to offer everything back to the original owner, the Ishvara. So externally looking the same as everyone else, but the internal consciousness is aware of that everything is the property of the higher, and we try to utilize it in the service of the higher, including our own self. So see, many people get together in Zoom, many people talk and speak and relate, but we're speaking and relating, but for the objective of serving the higher, divine love, the Ishvara. Yeah. So it looks like any other meeting, but the difference is the center, Krishna.
Cool. They are transcendental to the three modes of nature. We should know, however, that at this point our consciousness is contaminated. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am a product of material nature. This is called false ego. One who is absorbed in the thought of preconceptions cannot understand his situation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjuna put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from the bodily conception of life. That is the preliminary activity for the transcendentalist. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti, or liberation, means freedom from material consciousness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, also, the definition of liberation is given. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore we find at the last stage of the Gita's instructions that Krishna is asking Arjuna whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of the Lord. But for us, there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. But the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the conditioned souls. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of the material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer. But actually, the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer, and the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer, but a cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. For instance, a part of a machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, feet, eyes, legs, and so on are all parts of the body, but they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs move, the hands supply food, the teeth chew, and all parts of the body are engaged in satisfying the stomach, because the stomach is the principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in a healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we, as subordinate living beings, are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they would take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied. Although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there also in the living entities, because these tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord who has created the manifested cosmic world.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, wow.
So just to recap, because just sort of bringing it into a sort of a few sentences. So the gist of this last sort of section has been, if you water the root of the tree, all other aspects of the branches and the leaves and everything will be... Oh. Geez, really? Is that my smoke alarm's going off?
Is it yours?
Yeah, maybe. Some strange thing. Yeah, so the root of the tree, if the water feeds the root, it goes to all parts of the branches and leaves. So in the same analogy, by serving the center, by serving and watering and offering into love, Krishna, Radha Govinda, the source, from there we'll be connected and nourished from the source. So what's happening is the material system, being in Maya, is that we're trying to pour water onto the leaves and the branch, not to the root. And that's our separate interest. But it doesn't satisfy us because it's transitory, temporary, and reactionary. So there is some sense of enjoyment. Prabhupada used to explain that it's like, it appears as enjoyment, but it's temporary relief from the suffering. So he would call material enjoyment a temporary relief from the continued suffering, because in separation from love, you're always suffering. So bhakti is the chance to come back into the wave, the ingoing current, and to be nourished in that transcendental loving dynamic of joy with the higher. And in separation from that, welcome to the world. Look at all the suffering, the disturbance, the the dramas that are being played out in separation from the divine. So, yeah, so serving Krishna and serving the center, serving the divine, is watering the root of the tree. And you'll be automatically fully nourished and fulfilled, happy and ecstatic in that service to the root, source, truth, beauty, love, divinity. So everyone will serve. If you serve the ingoing current, you'll be fully fulfilled. But the material mind and senses have basically created a deception in ourselves by which we think we'll find our happiness by watering the root, not the root, but the leaves and the branches. And then we're cheated ultimately. And you'll see we're constantly pursuing, and then it all falls flat. And then eventually death comes, and then we may try it all again somewhere else. So the chance of bhakti is come into the source of all ecstasy, sweetness, love, beauty. The higher taste is found in the light. Yeah, what we're searching for is found in the relationship with source, divinity. So that example, and the same, feed the stomach, everything else is nourished. Serve Krishna, you'll be fully bound in happiness, ecstasy, sweetness through that. And then Prabhupada used to say, come and try, take the prasadam and see your feeling, associate with devotees, chant Mahamantra, which is Krishna. If you serve Krishna, see what type of fulfillment comes through that practice, and then compare that to all your other activities, which is like watering the leaves and the branch. So bhakti is now watering the root, and you'll see immediately you'll be nourished and fulfilled to various levels of commitment, depending, Krishna rewards us according to the surrender. And another point is we are cooperators of the creation. So the central figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators or not. But if they cooperate, they enjoy. If they rebel, they come into an unnatural position, a separated position. So harmony and disharmony comes from movement away from reality. Movement toward reality means everything gets real, and reality is also beauty, truth, sweetness, love. Non-reality is the opposite. So when people say get real, it means to get spiritual, to get enlightened, or not. If you stay in the dream, you're acting a role in the magic theater, but you're not really being yourself. And in that theater, and the roles you play in the material system, there is no real higher taste there. It's a limited, conditional taste. It has limit. Whereas the transcendental bhakti, the path of transcendence, takes you to the unlimited pleasure. And that we can say that, the Bhagavad Gita can say that, but you'll actually begin to have that experience because you'll compare bhakti and the path of transcendence as opposed to everything else that's been going on through the lifetimes. So you'll make the comparative, what's higher, this feeling or the feeling when I was, without any tendency to serve the higher. Any other points or reflections there?
Just absorbing that all, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you. So would you like to continue, or would someone else like to read? I know we haven't heard Rohit read yet, I don't think. If you feel called.
Yeah, I'm happy to pass the conch.
How do you feel about reading, Rohit?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Am I
Krishna.
audible? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
so I have this Bhagavad Gita as it is, so I guess I haven't found the line yet. So which one you guys are reading?
Nitai might be able to help you because he's reading from the book. I know you're reading different books, but maybe it's closer.
Yeah,
Maybe.
page 15, 1/3 the way down. I don't know if it's the same. It's this one. Do you have this one?
I actually have this one.
Oh, I've never seen that one before.
It's actually second edition of the Bhagavad Gita. So, okay, I guess I found the, okay, is that like we shall find therefore in this Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
this one? Okay. Okay, I'm going to continue. We shall find therefore in this Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of the supreme controller, the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time and karma, or activities, and all of this are explained in this text. All of this taken completely from the complete whole. And the complete whole is called the supreme absolute truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are complete personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete supreme person. Brahmano he pratisthaham. Brahman is more uh, explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. The impersonal Brahman is the sunshining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the absolute whole, and so also is the concept of Paramatma. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottama, is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Satchidananda Vigraha. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way. Ishvara Paramah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Govinda, Krishna, is the cause of all causes. He is primeval cause, and he is the very form of eternally knowledge and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, eternal feature, Paramatma. Realization is the realization of Sachit, eternal knowledge, but realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is realization of all transcendental features. Satchidananda, eternal knowledge and bliss in the complete Vigraha form. People with the less intelligence consider the supreme truth to the impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Should I continue? Oh, wait. Okay. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is the ultimate issue. A person and realization of the supreme personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features in his complete form. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immanence, potencies. how Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Sankarya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the manifestation and substance of this universe. There is nothing there is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the supreme whole, and when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be inherited by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a birth to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be an purifying agent. One might consider this is too contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistake. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge, which comes down as is stated in Bhagavad Gita by the Paramatma, and with parampara, disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Krishna, accept everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deviation, and without our own whimsical. The Bhagavad Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentations of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called anupshariyasa, means that they are different from words spoken by a person of a mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. A mundane is sure to commit mistakes. Number 2 is invariably illusioned, has the tendency to chase other, and is the limit by perfect senses. With this 4 imperfection, one cannot deliver perfect informations of all pervading knowledge.
So
Vedic
just,
knowledge.
Mm,
Okay,
yes,
right.
please.
Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you.
Yes.
Maharaj, did you want to go on ahead with what you were going to say?
No, you roll, and then I'll.
Yeah,
pick up.
okay. Thanks. I just had a little question comment. It's like very vague at this stage, but just saying, I loved hearing like we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It makes me think of why I sort of renounced Christianity, because I couldn't accept the Bible in full. And when I read the book of Leviticus, which I don't know if anybody else knows, it just kind of like really
Yeah.
tripped.
Yes.
And I started thinking, I can't pick and choose from a religion. That doesn't feel right. So I'm sure there's some controversial things in like the Vedic scriptures, maybe. I don't know. I can't be sure. But in the
Yeah.
Bhagavad, is there anything like controversial that people stumble on and go, I don't know if I can accept that as true?
Pretty much in my time, I mean, because it's of an absolute nature, there's nothing really controversial. There sometimes is things taken out of context, but there's nothing that will, curveball or sort of spin the general being who is approaching its shores, because it's of a nature of if some things aren't comprehended, it's a dokshaja, inconceivable. But in time, because so much of it also is revelatory and makes sense and is nourishing and nurturing and awakening us, it's just that there may be some things that may be inconceivable, but because we're dealing with the absolute in time, it may become perceivable. But yeah, there's nothing that would like the book of Leviticus and Deuteronomy, which is like all this, ritual and slaughter and lamb heads off and all this nonsense in the name of let's love God. It's all lower. Actually, we know what's happened there. They've decided to, we want to eat flesh. We want this and we want that. So we're going to manipulate and change and adjust the approach to God our way. That's what's actually happened. Many, many have done this. A great current has descended, and then, well, let's just find some reason or some bend around the conception of thou shalt not kill, and we'll find this, that, and so many other things. It's also their invader. Like if you really can't give up flesh eating, then there is ritual and system, but then it's goat, lower animal, and that's their invader. But that's for the materialistic people who are approaching divinity, but with heavy materialistic motive. So Bhagavad Gita, as it is wanting to bring us quickly to the pure path, as it is.
Awesome, thank you. And beautifully read, Rohit. Thank you so much. Does anybody want to probably take our last stretch of reading today? May not be the last, but anybody else want to take a turn?
So one thing I was going to reflect upon is this, the words spoken by the Lord are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world. So Prabhupada would often overview that the 4 defects of the conditioned soul: sure to commit mistakes, invariably illusioned, has a tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. So this is where divinity has to descend above to us. So it's a descending process. So no one is speculating how to approach the Himalaya. Like the path of divinity is a revealed path, amnaya. So this is why without a parampara, without the carriers of that truth, it will inevitably be a mess. It will be speculative. And this is why we don't have to work out how to approach or find Krishna. That's already been done for us. All we have to do is follow the experts who are revealing how to approach Krishna. And this is something the West, it wants to pull everything apart. It wants to have its own way up that mountain. And this is where in the Western sector, as aspiring yogis, we have to sort of put aside our tendency to commit mistakes. We're invariably illusioned. We have the tendency to cheat, and our senses are imperfect. So we shouldn't zoom off or project onto the absolute. The absolute reveals, and then we just follow. And then we get drawn up. So bhakti is a descending process. And because it's so vast and scientific, the fundamental primary teachings have been revealed by the experts. So if it's as simple as this: follow Sri Guru and be free. A deviation from Sri Guru, then be prepared to be back into the soup, the cosmic, materialistic soup. So,
Guru Maharaj, I have a question.
yes.
One should accept a spiritual master. So, like, how do I, find a bona fide spiritual master, and what are the characteristics should be, recommended for that?
Yeah, so that's Prabhupada. He gave many analogies that first study somebody's character. So acharya means they live by the example of their own previous master. They follow the instructions. So another point is this person's knowledge, this apparent teacher that's in front of me, can they guide me and take me to that perfected state? So then you have to immediately source, where are they receiving their knowledge from? So this is why disciplic succession. So if I'm presenting nuggets of gold, I have to be connected to the gold mine, right? So if I'm saying I have some gold, I have some knowledge, I have to have taken that, or I have to have sourced it from the gold mine. So Krishna is the gold mine, and the acharyas are the carriers of the gold nuggets, or the wisdom, the knowledge. So the symptoms of the bona fide guru is that they don't change anything. They present it as it is. It's very interesting because Prabhupada, as a disciple of his own master, Saraswati Thakur, he, as a good disciple, student, he repeated verbatim the conception of Saraswati Thakur, was sincere to follow the path. So then he was promoted into the major position because he didn't change anything. So it was unadulterated. So you'll see the symptoms are that person should be embodying the path of bhakti. So the guru sets the example for all other ranks, all newcomers. He sets the example by embodying the spirit of bhakti, and he's also living in that practice. So Srila Govinda Maharaj, he expressed, no doubt, as we begin to, firstly, we approach somebody in the lineage. Generally, gurus are in the sannyas ashram. They're in the commitment of connection 24/25/7 in service. Then we have to look at how nicely they're following their own guru in both mood and practice, and that they're repeating and that they're embodying the non-different mood and practice of the predecessor acharyas. One of the qualities of the guru is always wanting to see everyone loved, affectionate, empowered. So the nature of the real guru is, it's not a position of power play. It's not to suppress, it's to empower. And it's the guru, the qualified guru, wants to see you shine to your potential. So the guru will also have the ability to quote Shastra, he'll have studied the Vedic teachings, will be living the example of the Vedic teachings. But his reference point will not be the mundane perspective. It will always be the transcendental perspective. And at the source of the transcendental perspective is love of God and love of all. So from the Guru, you should feel love, affection, care, nurture, but with the motive of you awakening in your Krishna consciousness. So the Guru is living in Krishna consciousness and wants to see you awaken in your Krishna consciousness. So always all points of the relationship will be drawing to the center. The Guru won't have mundane reference. He'll always reference your evolution, your awakenment, your development in the higher. Hare Krishna.
I had a question as well, Guru Maharaj. So I was curious, how does knowledge descend in the Vedic path? Is it solely through revelation versus like these other religions, like the Bible, which to me seems like mostly personal motives involved in the text, like, or like it's mixed? It doesn't seem like it's coming from a pure place as the Vedic knowledge does.
So the Vedic knowledge, like other lines, can be corrupted, of course. It can gradually be changed. The innovating, see what it is that 100 disciples, the great master appears 100 disciples. The Guru was looking for one or many disciples that will fully surrender and embody in both mood and practice, surrender to the path. Then they'll be filled up with that love of God, Bhakti. So depending, by the time the Guru departs, students may be at different levels of rank. And if the most advanced student leads the next generation, then fine. But what if the most neophyte of the disciples climbs the ranks, grabs power, and then goes, I'm representing the Guru, but with a very mixed conception? This is also going on in different systems. So, but whoever is sincere, they will be brought, or they will be from within the heart. Krishna within the heart will guide them to a bona fide representative who will carry the essence, the Dara, the Shakti. And in the fields of Bhakti and even other yoga systems, it's true, there are different levels of Guru and student. So it is true, sometimes we see students of Bhakti, they explore many fields and they check out many gurus and many groups. You'll be glad to know that our friend Chintamani has done such a thing. She's wandered across many fields and her own feeling and experience has somehow or other brought her to this field. So you could ask her, also her observation. I met many gurus. I went to India, I went here, there. So then why here? Because every guru will be at a different stage. There's different feelings amongst different lineages. It's true. But yeah, so the Veda generally is relayed. It was just relayed previously from oral, from master to disciple. But then as the Kali Yuga came, it came into literature, or came into Shastra. So Shastra is good because the three references is Shastra, Guru, Sadhu. So the Guru, whatever the Guru is expressing or whatever example he's setting, that has to be found in the Shastra. So it's not that we just follow the Guru without the Shastra. So the Shastra is being reflected. It's non-different from the Guru. That's a very amazing point of Veda, that you won't get lost just by some crazy guru that starts to change everything. Because you go, hold on, Guruji, the Shastras, the books say something different. So the real Guru, the Shastra and the Guru will be one. And the Sadhu also. You see, so that way the Vedas protect the lineage also by not going off course. One of the reasons for this particular bhakti field is for that. Because some gurus, followers of bhakti, when we look at the Shastra, what the higher has revealed, how it should move, it differs. So then we can step back from those particular sadhus. We discern, we discriminate. So Shastra is very important. Shastra is the last revelation of the master. See, Rohit, just one quick example, and to cite this, Prabhupada was a great master. So he revealed, like Shastra, this is what I want when I leave this world. What he wanted was for his students to take training under Srila Maharaj, which is what we're doing. Many didn't do that. So this is called revolt. That means disobeying the order. So that means if you disobey the order of the captain who's driving the boat, it's mutiny. Mutiny means a big problem. So the Shastra is the Guru. It's revealed by the Guru, but the Guru will also embody the predecessor masters. It will be one and the same. So there's a check and balance there. And so we have generations of gurus. So Prabhupada embodied all the predecessor acharyas, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj. And then what you'll see in my attempt is I'm always quoting, referencing only the heavyweight masters. Others' conception, I don't know. I don't want to know others' conception. I only want to know the expert. Because if we're going to wake up in the morning and do this thing, Hare Krishna, Bhakti, let's beeline like a bee to the expert, to the big guru, Jagat Guru. Actually, this field is an offering to the Jagat Gurus. Yeah. We want to be one with that conception. We don't want dilution or deviation from that. So somebody that is in that mood, then they are qualified to be a guru. It's true. Srila Govinda Maharaj he didn't change anything, and he was a great guru. He carried both the mood and practice of Sridhar Maharaj perfectly. Same with Prabhupada. So this is our attempt. And you can, you also can do your homework. You can explore different field and feel what you feel in this field as opposed to this field. See, it's like when you're eating processed food and organic food, you can taste what is different. Like real orange juice, organic, and then chemical orange juice. The taste is different. One is proper, made from God, revealed by God, and the other is mixed with man's tendency for defect. That you'll pick up. Hare Krishna.
But so Guru Maharaj, so how does Shastra how does it manifest? Like how?
Manifesting through the hearts of the Mahajan. So prior, it was passed on through oral, that Dara. So it's a feeling, it's a Shakti, a potency, plus it's a revelation. So at some point, we know that it went into a literal form. And so that the literal form has been carried. See, in India, the Veda has not been diluted or lost. Like other traditions, there's been mixing. But India has kept its ancient knowledge without dilution. And these great masters have been privileged to be connected with that unabridged source. And Prabhupada being one of the great. So this is why he did write Bhagavad Gita as it is, because many took Bhagavad Gita and twisted the meaning. Even inside India, other groups, even other gurus in India, they did make wrong translation and interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. And this is why their movements have not been big or changed the lives of many. But Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, his edition was pure, and it was non-different from the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And when it came to India, through him and to the world, it created a revolution. And you see, thousands and thousands of Hindus, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, are following that version of Bhagavad Gita. And their lives are more fixed to the proper conception, more than other movements and gurus. It's true. So now, because it's in book form, we have the reference of that revelation, how to approach. So the guru will embody what's in the predecessor's master's teachings. And we have all that literally in black and white. Hare Krishna. Andrew. Thank you. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. So now in literal form. So it's very important we don't change the words of these great masters' teachings. Hence, this is why I think we're reading from pre-76 version of Bhagavad Gita, because there is a conspiracy in ISKCON. There are some gurus there changing the books. This is a big problem. So we don't subscribe to that. We stay with the original. You see, this is why stick with the heavyweights, the experts. They'll show us the way up the mountain. So, yeah. Like when Jesus came, after he showed his disciples something of that great revelation, did things start to change? Definitely. Because the nature of man is to project his mundanity into the great truth and dilute. So that's why it's very important to hold the integrity and authenticity of the teachings. Especially the mood. The teachings of Bhakti, Krishna consciousness, is love, affection. So if you don't see that in the name, people quote many things, they look big and bright and many garlands and lots of saffron and drums and a big hoo-ha, but there's no love and affection. If you don't feel that, then it means some mix. Or if you don't see pure practices, that means mix. Mostly mix will come when there is revolt to the carrier of love. The great masters, if you reject some primary order, which is like rejecting aspects of love, you'll be contaminated with the saguna, with the materialistic wave, and then it'll become something else. You dilute the purity, dilute the love. Hare Krishna. So the potency will be there where there's full surrender so if you're fully open, then the higher will run 108 current through you. But if you're a little like holding and resisting, and you have some strange agendas, and you're playing with power, or your ego is playing with the path, the full flow can't move through. That's why to take the position or to come in to assume the role of guru, one should be very, very sincere. It's no, Gurudev used to say, it's not child's play. You have to be prepared to be perfect, to take that role, to lead others. And you're constantly praying to give the non-different conception that your own master gave. Especially the mood as well, but practice. But it is true that at a certain stage, the higher, if it sees there's certain levels of qualifications, it will instigate the student to take up the role. But it's with the view that the seeds that are planted by the ongoing masters as they appear in the disciplic succession, it's for the purpose to also make many other masters. See, Prabhupada is a name which means at whose feet many other masters sit. Prabhupada. So when we say Prabhu and Didi or Vaishnavi, you're also all potential teachers. But then in the future, what will you teach? So if you take the teaching properly without mix and embody it, then you'll carry the same current level of teaching and potency. So the idea is not to dilute. That's why chastity to love is very important in bhakti. No mixing. Don't mix the pure thing with the unholy thing. Yeah, because the unmixed thing will conquer the world. We've all seen the shadow, the Maya. The Maya is nothing. The Maya is boring. It's old. But love, purity, reality, that's give reality to others. Don't give them mixed. Give them reality, everyone. So Prabhupada gave reality, and look at the revolution. And reality is love. So the guru can't give anything from the mundane. He can't reference the mundane. In his life, there should be no mundane mixing. It's all, everything is, he's conduit for the upper, for love, not relative. Bona fide guru. But gurus at different stages, as long as the guru is sincere, if he's under the guidance of higher gurus and he's sincere, he'll take, so like this, he can take middle stage, one can assume the position of teacher. Hare Krishna. And also within your heart, it's true that I direct the wanderings of all living entities. So if one is interested in spiritual life, the Krishna within your heart will bring you to the Guru. When the students are ready, the Guru appears. It's true. You get drawn to where somebody, so Krishna arranges that meeting. So two things, the loving search for Sri Krishna reality, the beautiful, the search, I want to know what God is, I want to know truth, love. And then the loving search for the lost servant. So Krishna meets us in the middle through the Guru. That's what's happening. So what's passing through the Guru is Krishna. So the Guru isn't Krishna. The Guru is the servant of Krishna, but he's delivering Krishna consciousness, the spirit of Krishna consciousness. And will take the responsibility to see you transform and come into the best version of yourself, the perfect version of yourself, and guide you. Actually, the Guru, it's not that you serve the Guru will serve you. That's what actually happens. The Guru serves the students. He's the Guru because he's the best servant. All his life, he'll serve you 24/7 if he can fit the extra hour in. Prabhupada served his disciples continually till his death, preparing them to also become teachers. So they try to serve him, but he's constantly serving them. It's a type of competition, each serving the other and offering to the higher. And we're serving each other with Krishna. Like if I'm serving you, if I'm teaching you, what am I giving you? Anything from this mundane world? No, Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, we're instigating Bhagavad Gita, service to Krishna. And then so you serve, I serve, but we're all together serving the source, divinity, center, all absolute center. And all of us will transform. You'll see, you begin chanting Maha Mantra, you associate. Reading this Bhagavad Gita, you're associating with Krishna, Supreme Being. And that will change us. No doubt. You'll feel that like something's going on here. I'm feeling like you're starting to transcend. You'll get the higher taste. Because Krishna is the source of all taste, pleasure. So that comes. It says here, Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being. So Brahma is the head guru in our lineage, and it's handed down. So what was given to Brahma is being given to us right now. Same, non-different. So this is why it has its impact. This, because we're reading as it is, Prabhupada's book, Srila Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, then this will transform us, definitely. Yeah. So what's happening in the 70s, that revolution, it's here now. It's not supposed to stop. Someone might say it appeared that it slowed down. That's true. It did slow down. You want to know, I can tell you why, but that's going to take us a few hours. But it's true. There was certain interests that wanted to hijack the revolution in the West. But that's being addressed and it's being reformed and dealt with, no doubt, by divine arrangement. Hare Krishna. Golda Hari Golda Hari Golda Hari Bol. So, you know, we're all here together to assist each other into the new era, the divine order. It's like in the New Age movement, they say, we're waiting for Jesus to appear, but he may already be here. It's just, so we are the ones we're waiting for. It's just, we have to sort of awaken to our mission, to our real higher purpose, which is to awaken our own loving potential with the higher and extend that to others. Yeah, very mystical process. Actually, we've all been played, it's true. We've all been worked over to be where we are in this moment. Many things have had to have happened for us to be at this particular junction in the time-space continuum. It's true. It's like a divine tapestry has arranged kaleidoscope. Hare Krishna.
That channel is wide open tonight, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Amazing. Thank you.
You know, like Gurudev used to say about himself, he said, you know, because in his own reflections, he said, what Srila Maharaj wanted from me, he always felt like he was naughty, you know, and that he was, what Srila Guru Maharaj wanted from him, Srila Maharaj like allowed the process for Gurudev to come into the role that he was to play. But in his humility, he said that. But he said that Srila Maharaj, he was always looking for a student that would fully hear him and follow. And from the beginning, he tested him. And so love wants to fill us up. So then we just have to be empty. And if we're empty and have no other ulterior motive, we'll be filled and we'll be activated. So not just one, but many, many pure devotees can awaken from within the ranks. Prabhupada once said in the 70s, he said, if I have 17 disciples, male or female, that fully surrender, we'll take the entire globe. For some reason, he gave the number 17. So it was possible even in the 70s and 80s that there was going to be mass revolution through the West, but there was some setback, it's true. The agents of the other side, our friends who are perhaps more contracted, they had some plan to infiltrate, disturb. It's their job, you know. So now our job is to be 6 or 7 steps in front and sort of learn their trick, yeah, to avoid. But so if you stay empty but open and sincere, then the download, the transformation will come. I was saying just to Madhura Nita just previously that sometimes in order to fully appreciate the light, some of us may have had to have gone to very, very contracted states of awareness. It appears that's tough, no doubt, but it was the only thing that jolted us to our mission. We had to see the opposite of what was on offer. And this is, the Christians call this the dark night of the soul. The Acharyas are aware of this because they know that from the indirect, from the Maya Shakti, will come great contraction and suffering. And in that moment, there can be great epiphany. So many, many transcendentalists, before they came to their awakening, sometimes they had to see the very opposite of their potential. And in that moment, like see Christ himself was taken to the desert, 40 days, 40 nights. And Lucifer, he tried to entice many ways. He was tested, but he came out, no, I'm for love, light, beauty. And then of course he came into the state that he attained. So this is the case for all of us on some level. We get tested. But you'll see nothing compares. It's a Sinead O'Connor song, isn't it? Nothing compares. We are forever changed once we glimpse. So even despite the tests and contractions and old cycles from previous lives, it won't be able to hold us. Srila Guru Maharaj says that Krishna will pull and attract and help us out from the mask, the alter ego. Many managers of us in previous lives, in the subtle system, they don't want your elevation. Even now as we speak, they're circling to try and see if they can find a gap to capture, to put doubt, to hold you back, to suppress progress. It's war. We are at war. But the agents of the higher are more powerful. So in the presence of the higher, those shadow creatures scatter. They hide, you know. They withdraw from the field. And no doubt you'll see, you know, sometimes they try to come into the quantum and create trouble like mad monkeys. But Srila Maharaj said they knock at the door, you know. You don't let them in. No, I'm happy with my connection with the higher. No, you're not coming in. You've been running amok in this place for lifetimes, causing chaos. You're not my friends. I'm not letting you in. So we will be given that spiritual strength to resist the old sanskar. Many sanskar. Some of them may even help us. They may be utilized, some of our sanskar. It's true. Even Srila Maharaj said that. Some of your tendencies that have perhaps even bound you, you can utilize in the service of the higher. Like Prabhupada once said, many of my Western students, they have great lust, you know, Iggy Pop song, Lust for Life. But if lust for the Maya and intensity for enjoyment gets transferred to Bhakti, you'll become the best of devotees. It's true. Prabhupada said that many times. So even greed, lust, anger also, you may have angry nature. But if you use that anger to protect the Aryan, the field, that's the perfection of your anger, to protect. So everything can be utilized to the upper. Lust, greed. So greed, lolyam, greediness. Instead of greed for acquisition and power, you become greedy for more bhakti, for progress. That will make you perfect. So, And one time Gurudev said, I don't want good men or good women. I want very, very bad men and very, very bad women. And we're all like, what? He said, because when a very, very bad man or a very, very bad woman or girl, when they take to bhakti, they transform and then become very intense for the higher. So those who are bad in the Mayak side, they're fearless, like a gunda, gangster, for power. So you become a gangster and you search with the intensity to the higher in the same way. You'll become very advanced quickly. So you see, even the negative can be transformed. There'll be some that, like, you imagine the fearlessness of the gunda nature. Now you have that for bhakti. That's, yeah, become courageous, like warrior and warrioress for love, gangster of love. But, you know, not violent gangsterism. Your bold and your brave nature will be to instigate. Like you'll be a fire starter. Fire starter. To extend. But in a charming way. In a way that won't upset others. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we're very fortunate we get this chance. Every day, you know, dive deep into reality. If you sincerely, even in one day, apply the principles of bhakti, chant on the mala, rise early, associate, it will accelerate quickly. You'll live in another quantum. You'll see already your quantum starting to shift. You'll be in the world, but not of this world. You'll be living in another state of consciousness, like angelic and higher, mystical. Not all human are living, some humans without bhakti also living in different states, some sattvic states, it's true. But bhakti will bring quickly to the most potential advanced state. And all your action, movement will be auspicious, protected, and Krishna will protect and help. All auspiciousness will come through bhakti. Srila Maharaj said, by sincere approach to this field, the dhara of bhakti, expect many, many, many miracles. Many. They'll keep coming. It's like, you'll be like, oh. And then another one will come, and that will create more awe and, many things. Hare Krishna.
Invite anybody to make final comments or ask final questions in our last minutes together tonight. Maharaj, including you.
I think I've said more than enough for myself. So, Andrew, I think you sent me a message through the Candeli, I think, isn't it? Is it? I think through the Bhakti field. I saw some email today about I think it was you, that some one-on-one or meeting, was it? Oh no, maybe not.
That was not me. However, I would be very interested in something like that. Yeah.
Okay, it must be another. Oh, Adam. Yeah. Adam. Sorry, not Andrew. Adam.
It's okay. I've been, yeah.
But yeah, no, more than happy, Andrew, to have one-on-ones.
Yeah, I would appreciate that very little. I'm trying to get back on a regular schedule now. I just had a big move and everything, but getting more into a rhythm now. So I think that would definitely be something I'm interested in the recent or the near future.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, and more than happy, just the book clubs are sort of structured, of course, and we need to go through these lessons and learn many things. But yeah, I'm more than happy just to, have no subject, just to see what flows and meet and to get to know you personally, each of you. It's bhakti is a personal path. So, Hare Krishna.
Talking about how a guna can turn into a devotee, there's this one Prabhupada disciple named, I think his name is Prabhupada.Das, and he used to throw rocks at the devotees and antagonize the devotees, but then somehow or other he met Prabhupada, and from that day on he gave up that nature of hitting the devotees with the rocks and use that nature to protect the devotees. And
there's been cases like that. We had Giri Roop was quite a large bodied devotee. He was quite big. He used to eat a lot of halava and samosas later after he took initiation from Prabhupada. When he first, in the 70s, 72, 73, when they were having kirtan parties here in Auckland City, and because you'll see, I think I sent a video to you, Melbourne, Rath Yatra, Jenna, Prabhupada in 73, 74. Prabhupada came to Australia 6 times, I just learned today. Yeah. Melbourne, he came 5 times. So he's blessed many cities in the South Pacific, because wherever the heavyweight Vaishnavas, they open up portals to the upper. Yeah, and their energy residues stay, actually. This is the one of the potencies. But anyway, so the Giri Roop, he became a disciple of Prabhupada in 73. In 72, he would see the devotees chanting up and down Queen Street, which is, if you ever come to Auckland, it's the main drag. of the city, and it rises up a hill. And he would be there with his mates drinking beer, and he would throw full cans of beer at the devotees chanting on the street. So he was quite anti, you know. He was always meditating, those Hare Krishnas, those Hare Krishna. So every time he went Hare Krishna, the heart was being changed and softened. And later, yeah, he had some transformation and was fascinated and came to the devotees, and then joined up, and he became the manager of the spiritual sky for New Zealand. So you remember in the 70s and 80s, they'd have spiritual sky incense. There'd be incense and it would have Maha Mantra on it and Radha Krishna. It was sort of everywhere in the South Pacific. So he was the director of the spiritual sky incense factory, Giri Roop. And yeah, nice family. Yeah, because you see, there was, you know, many, I think maybe few 500, 1,000 disciples in Australia, maybe more, and then New Zealand. And then they gradually secured that, I think it was an old convent. Have you ever, Dale and Jenna, have you been to the Melbourne Temple? Yeah.
I think it is a convent. It
yeah.
is very reminiscent of one. Yeah.
So there's a place next door to the temple where Prabhupada used to live. You can go there and there's a murti and yeah. But it is true, when the movement did go, it underwent some shift and changes after he left. It's true, the potency started to change, unfortunately, but still it's glorious because it's going on at some level. And Madhuvisa, he was the main American sannyasi that was accompanying Prabhupada. I met him many times at New Govardhan, up in the Northern Rivers, New South Wales border. Very sweet. Madhuvisa. They all, actually most of their leaders live in those glory days, 65 to 77. But then what they didn't know is that great wave was there with Srila Maharaj. They lost that chance because of politics. And then Srila Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, it didn't end. But you see, to be attached to the form of the Guru, it's who, when the Guru leaves, if someone else is awakened, you move there, you know. And the Guru will reveal who's who to go to next. Prabhupada told, you go to Srila Maharaj, he's more than me, my Shiksha Guru. Yeah. So we're living in the wave of the three master. So we get triple sun. One sun is not enough. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thank you all so much. Beautiful. You know, tomorrow, of course, Jenna, we're hosting the American or the international at 10 o'clock your time, isn't it?
Must be, yeah. With the shift, yes.
Yeah, because 12 for me, 10 for you all. 10, but 9 o'clock for
Brisbane.
9 o'clock for Sudishan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But India same, America same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaja.
Yeah, well, look, thank you all very much. We've just come up the hour and a half. And Dale, have you had a hard day on the farm today, or?
No, yesterday was, well, the days on the farm are getting easier and easier each week, with less and less to sort of think about as things become more familiar. I find myself enjoying it more, and the work doesn't seem as hard each week, even though it's kind of all similar. I guess I'm getting fitter.
Yeah, you're getting fitter.
But yeah, I think when you're sort of not stressing about what you're doing and you're just in flow, it feels like it's a lot more enjoyable and not as hard to do. So yeah, no, today was just a delivery day. So Yeah, nice easy one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And any further news with you guys with the house? Are you still?
Yeah, actually, we have inspection tomorrow. We're going to see a place because the
Awesome.
restrictions are enough that we can actually see a place.
And is it a nice place? Has it got the bath and the place? All the
It's got the fireplace. It's got the backyard. So and the street name is Daffodil Road. And daffodil, I don't know, yellow flowers.
Well, I'll be saying a prayer for you to, if it's the place you like, then Vishvakarma is the demigod. He looks after the machinery and the architecture and housing for the jiva, demigod, Vishvakarma. So if you get his blessing, he can secure you in that place. But Krishna and Nityananda, they know what's best. So, but yeah, if you get it, but you've seen the pictures, you're attracted to the pictures. So hopefully they stack up to the actual.
Yeah.
And how far out of the city is it?
Maybe an extra 30 minutes from where we are, Dale. Maybe something like that. It won't be too removed, but it's on the foot of the mountains, so
Awesome.
It would be.
Yay. Oh, that's exciting. So maybe tomorrow we'll have a little chat and see how it went, because you might be all like, we got it, or you like it. But do you have to submit once, if you say you like it, do you submit your offering or your?
I think we've actually already applied, so if they like us, then we're in. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for listening, everybody, to our little house up.
Yeah.
Great to be with you all. It's so nice to just look at everybody smiling and listening and engaging with Maharaj.
Yay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, have a beautiful evening, and yeah, looking forward to if whoever catches up tomorrow for the other seva. The Shravanam Kirtanam, this is the key, hearing and chanting. It's in the Kali Yuga, the hearing from the literature, chanting Mahamantra, Prasadam, especially these transcendental books, they will change and purify the consciousness. It's a great blessing for all of us to come into this chance. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Gurudev. All right. See you soon. Dandavats.
Dandavats.
Bye.